guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Patch 11.05, the 20th anniversary update, is launching in literally a handful of days, and it's bringing with it a ton of new content, ton of new changes, and lots of updates for our classes and characters. But one of the smaller updates that is bringing is actually some changes to a few racials, like the Draxi are getting access to a few more classes, but also an update for one of the allied races of the Dark Iron Dwarves. In fact, they're actually getting a bit of fan service with this update as they get to dive back into the Blackrock Depths raid, together with some of the codex entries that's going to shape and help better define some of their in-game lore, but also a quality update for the racials as well. The Dark Iron are generally a fairly popular pick since they have some key advantages over others, such as more movement within indoor locations, so think majority of raids as well as dungeons, and they're the only race in the game that gets protection from physical type damage attacks, which makes them super unique. And they could also dispel themselves, removing any enemy debuffs such as bleeds, poisons, curses, and other debuffs, which helps fuel their ferocity, and a very popular choice within PvP and even dungeon content. But they also have a mole machine, which is basically a way that they can teleport all over Azeroth, similar to that of a mage but as any class. And they can even unlock more of these mole machine locations as they travel all over the open world. And at 11.05, they're actually expanding this racial a little by providing additional places that they can travel to using the mole machine racial ability. So for today's video, I wanted to cover all of the different mole machine locations that have been added with 11.05. But to make this a more comprehensive guide for the Dark Iron Dwarves, I'm actually going to cover all mole machine locations that they have access to as of the patch 11.05. All the locations they've been able to unlock from before 11.05, but also all the new areas they can now unlock with this newest update. As always, if you want to see more guides like these for the War Within expansion, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. So I'm going to cover all of the mole machine locations in an order, starting with all the ones we know of, as well as later down the line going into all of the new ones that are coming out once 11.05 is finally here. And we'll do it a zone by zone, starting with Eastern Kingdoms. Natively, Dark Iron Dwarves already unlock certain places such as Stormwind, Ironforge, as well as Shadowforge, which is the Dark Iron home base location. But besides this, you also get a couple of zones within Eastern Kingdoms, specifically in the Blasted Lands, where the Netherguard Keep normally is, which is Alliance's main home base, and near the Blacksmith's building, which is where the mole machine is going to be. Now, when you visit that zone, you may either see two versions of the place, either one that's inhabited with Alliance forces, or maybe a Warlord's General one inhabited by orcs. Either way, the mole machine should still spawn whichever version of the zone you get to see for yourselves. Now, second one you'll find actually within the Blackrock Mountains, right next to the entrance of the Blackrock Depths raid or dungeon, or I guess dungeon raid once 11.05 officially launches. It's a bit of a winding path into the actual mountains, way down below the chain, past the quarry and into the masonry. So as long as you're looking out for the actual entrance to the dungeon itself, the Blackrock Depths, it's going to be right next to it, a little bit kind of across it. It's a bit of a passage, it's a little bit of a hassle to get there, but with flying, you should be able to make your way down and then walk across, open the map, and that'll help you kind of guide where you need to go. The last location that you can discover in the Eastern Kingdoms in the Hinterlands, the Airy Peak, specifically near the main Dwarven bunker where the Innkeeper is going to be. The mole machine on this one specifically had a bit of a phasing issue. It may phase in and out depending if you're close enough to it, so be sure to get close enough to be able to interact with it and then click on it as soon as you can. Then we got a couple of locations within Kalimdor. Starting from the south, we have the Ungora Crater, specifically the Fire Plume Ridge, near the main volcanic mountain-esque structure that is at the center of the zone, and the machine will be located near the base down the hill. The next one is going to be in the Southern Barrens, but really close to the actual divide between the Northern Barrens and the Southern Barrens. Look out for the Honors Stand flight path, and the mole machine will be located behind one of the walls of that Alliance outpost, really close to the actual Great Divide, where the Cataclysm split the zone into two. The last one will be located in Mount Hyjal. You can either fly there or head over to Stormwind in order to take one of the Cataclysm portals to the zone to get there a little quicker. But you'll find the actual mole machine somewhere near the entrance of the Firelands raid, specifically the Throne of Flame. But following the map, it is in a specific spot, and you'll be surrounded by molten lava, as well as a bunch of molten giants. When you see all that, then you know you're getting pretty close. The next three locations are going to be within the Outland, and the easiest way to get to the Outland is to take a portal to Shatrath from Stormwind to reach the Outland zones. You have 3 areas, starting with the Shadowmoon Valley, located in the Fell Pits, a little bit north of Hand of Gul'dan Mountain at the center of the entire zone. The next one will be located in Hellfire Peninsula, specifically the Honor Hold Alliance Outpost, near the Mage Tower, kind of on the outer edge of the town itself. The last one will be in Blade's Edge Mountains, kind of in the middle of nowhere. It'll be in the most northern part of the map, called the Scald, in the area where you'll find a bunch of wandering, searing elementals. That is where you'll find your mole machine. Though we have only 2 locations for the next area, which is a northern, which you can reach easily if you take the portal to Dalaran that is located within the Crystal Song Forest from Stormwind. The first spot is going to be in the zone of the Dragonflight, specifically the Ruby Dragon Shrine, and you'll know that you're getting pretty close when you see the big red tree. You'll find the mole machine in the outskirts of that tree's location. And the last one is going to be all the way in Icecrown, all the way up north, near the Argent Tournament grounds, really near the edge of the cliffside, behind one of the tents of the actual tournament grounds area. So all the way as far north as you can go of the map, that is where you'll find your last Northwind mole machine. Then we have 2 more locations from Pandaria, and you could take a portal to the Jade Forest from Stormwind in order to reach Pandaria a little bit easier. The first one will be located in the Valley of the Four Winds, actually right next to the Stormshroud Brewery dungeon, but more around the backside of the building, kind of by the water area. The second one is going to be located in the Kunlai Summit, near the One Keg flight path, kind of next to where the Shah of Fear normally spawns. You'll find it on a small hill right next to the village of the One Keg. Then we have 2 more locations in Draenor, which you can access either through a Garrison Hearthstone if you've already unlocked a Garrison on a character, or if you haven't, you should be able to take a portal straight to Stormshield, and then from there you should be able to fly to Gorgrond and Nagrand. In Gorgrond, you'll find it near the Blackrock Foundry raid, specifically right outside the main excavation area called the Pit, towards the northern part of the zone that kind of overlooks where you can see from that angle the actual foundry itself. The second one will be located all the way in Nagrand, mostly the northern edge of that zone, near the main elemental plateau area. You'll specifically find the mole machine near where the volatile fire spirits are hanging out at, and within that charred ember area is where the mole machine is. The next zone we have is the one from the expansion of Legion, specifically the zones of the Broken Shore. However, if you've never been to Legion, or really the Dalaran version of Legion, you may need to do a short questline in order to actually unlock the Legion version of Dalaran, otherwise your Dalaran Hearthstone will not work. You should take the skip if one is available, otherwise you should be able to complete a very short scenario in order to actually unlock the Legion version of Dalaran. The first one will be found in the Broken Shore, which is kind of like the end game area of that expansion, specifically the Algon Point flight path behind where all the NPCs are, where the Varkal are. There'll be like a graveyard area spawn point, and there is where you'll find your mole machine. The other one is located all the way north in the High Mountain, which is quite a bit of a flight. Specifically, you'll find it located in the Path of Huln, near the entrance to the Natharian's Vault, and you'll find it kind of hidden behind the tree next to the big mountain cliffside. From this point forth, we got a couple more mole machines that are being added specifically within the patch 1105 for the zones of Battle for Azeroth expansion, Shadowlands expansion, and the Dragonflight expansion. Starting with the zone of Kultiras, you'll need to take a portal or a boat to Kultiras. If you've never actually done the intro to Borealis, then you may also need to do that in order to unlock the area. Though another way you could approach it is actually by taking the portal from Dornagal in the max level zones to the Timeways where the seasonal dungeons are located. And the portal to one of the seasonal dungeons, specifically to Siege of Borealis, will take you straight to Kultiras zone. Tiragard Sound will be the first place you'll want to visit with the Wailing Tideway, which is located somewhere near the Dungeon of Freehold, and you'll find your mole machine located by some of the shipwrecks at the coast of that area. The second one will be located all the way on the opposite side of the entire zone, all the way north in the Stormsong Valley, specifically the Tidebreaker Summit, overlooking the Shrine of the Storm dungeon, as well as the raid that's associated with that dungeon atop of one of the nearby hills. Though Battle for Azeroth added 2 continents for you to explore, with the second one being Zandalar. To visit Zandalar as an Alliance player, you'll first need to progress through a little bit of the Warfront campaign to specifically get the quest so you can now establish Alliance outposts within the other factions zone. And you'll find this quest on the actual Alliance ship that is docked within the Borealis Harbor. Once you set up your outpost, you can travel to Zandalar or any of the other zones like Nazmir or Vol'dun to reach all of the other locations. One of those mole machines will be located in Zuldazar near Zabala Ruins, where one of the Alliance outposts will be established. You'll find the mole machine you're looking for by the beach near all of the other Dark Iron mole machines. The second one will be found in Nazmir near the Zobal Ruins, which is one of the Horde outposts, so Alliance don't actually have any good ways to get there easily. But there will be a mole machine located by those ruins, kind of at the corner outside of the main wall that kind of secludes the outpost away from the rest of the zone. From there, we'll move on to the expansion of the Shadowlands, which you can access by either taking a portal to Oribos, though if you've never actually been to the Shadowlands before, you may need to do the intro to Shadowlands in order to be able to actually unlock the zone. Specifically to unlock the Flight Master of Oribos in order to reach the 4 main zones of that expansion. And there will be a mole machine within every one of these zones, the first one being Bastion, and you'll find your mole machine in the northern part of the entire zone, a small overlook near the Eternal Forge under the big cliff overlooking the area. So if you look at it from the top above, you'll actually have to travel a little bit further below in order to find the mole machine you're looking for. Maldraxxus will be the next zone. This is like the Deathly Necrolord area, and you'll find your mole machine there in the Valley of 1,000 Legs, kind of near the Theatre of Pain, but a bit more of a beaten path. So if you're traveling by roads, then you probably won't see it. But if you get into this crevice area, or I guess the trenches of the Maldraxxus Necrolord area, then you should find it kind of under one of the bony fingers poking out from the side of the mountain. The next one will be found in the Forest of the Ardenweald, east of Hibernal Hollow, a little bit further out, specifically Soren's Meadow location. Near the edge of the actual map, there'll be a tree, and right next to it will be a mole machine that awaits for you to be able to learn it. And the last one for Shadowlands will be located in Revendreth, specifically near Sinfall, which is your main hub for the Revendreth faction, as well as the Dominance Keep a little south of it. There'll be an area, kind of like a graveyard area in the Ember Ward, and on the edge of that area near the tree is where your mole machine is going to be. And finally, we have the expansion of Dragonflight, which you can access by either taking a boat to the Dragon Isles or a portal to Valdrakken. And in the Dragon Isles, we will have 3 major locations where your mole machines are going to be. The first one being in the Waking Shore near the Obsidian Citadel, the Slagma area to be specific, on an elevation overlooking the Citadel itself among the molten slag and bones surrounding the Kalashi offensive. The second one will be all the way in the Azure Span, in the frosty part of the zone, but kind of near a big encampment where all these fire elementalists and primalists have warped a portion of the zone and twisted the earth around it. And your mole machine will be located near one of the lava puddles, or an area where a bunch of lava puddles are, behind one of those earthy walls that has been created through the primalist magic, so it's kind of hidden behind a little bit. Now, the last location is in Zarala Caverns, which is the underground zone of the Dragonflight expansion, which you can access through a couple of entrances, either found in Unaran Plains, where there's 2 entrances, or one in Azure Span. And they'll take you all the way underground below the surface of the Isles. And when you head over to Obsidian Rest Flight Path, around main building where you'll find a couple of vendors is where your mole machine is going to be after the 11.05 update has officially launched. Which leaves you with quite a number of locations that your Dark Iron Dwarfs can now travel around within the patch 11.05. But with that being said, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video, and hope all of you did enjoy it. If you did enjoy this guide or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like. I would very much appreciate it. Join our Discord community if you want to keep up with all the regular updates as well as feature guides for the 11.05 20th anniversary update. Also, let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.